You're listening to Bellwethers podcast with Matthews Joseph.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another new episode of Bellwethers podcast. And today we have Biju Thampy here with us on this podcast. Biju Thampy is the founder of Vision Rescue. It's a nonprofit organization based out in India, but they have operations all around the globe right now. They're venturing into the United States and Canada and different parts of the world. And Biju Thampy is basically from Kerala, but settled in Mumbai. And it's such an honor to have you, Mr. Biju Thampy. Thank you so much for your time here. We are so excited and we'd love to know more about you and the insights that you're about to share.
Thank you, Matthew. Great to be on your podcast. And hey, hello to everyone.
Yeah. So, can you just tell us a bit about yourself, what you do, and the things that you do about Vision Rescue and all?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Biju and married to Sekunda. We have 3 boys. Timothy is 22, Nathan is 20, and Benjamin is 11. And we live in Mumbai, originally from Kerala. But we've been living in Mumbai for 16 years. Before that, we were in Goa for 9 years. We free children from exploitation. That's what we do in Mumbai. So actually, we are based in Mumbai, but we work in India in 4 different cities: Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, and New Delhi. So the main goal, the mission for Vision Rescue is to free children from all forms of exploitation by engaging and sustaining them in education. So that's what we do.
Oh, that's actually amazing. And we've seen like the works of you guys, what you guys do on Instagram, and it's actually great to see like how you as a social organization are standing up to social justice and doing those things that as a nonprofit that you guys are going ahead and what God is enabling you to do. And we are so excited and to see what's happening down there in India. So yeah, without further ado, I'm just gonna jump into the questions. And as I know that you have been a leader for a long time, and you've been leading different organizations and you basically been in this leadership role for a long time. And so I just want to direct the next question towards an organization perspective. Like, as an organization gets larger, there can be a tendency for the institution to dampen the inspiration. Like when you start something, as it grows on, there's a chance that the vision actually is deviated from what it was originally set as. How do you keep this from happening, and how do you make sure that the vision and the inspiration stays within as the institution grows into a bigger one?
Thank you, Matthew. That's a great question, and it's a vast, subject. I mean, you can talk about it for a long time, but I'll keep it short. So, and I'll keep it from a social justice initiative point of view. So for us, with what we do, it's very personal. Because for me to start Vision Rescue, it started by God asking me a question. If it was your child, would you do something about it? So we heard about a child on the street drinking milk from the dog. And by the time I was a father of two boys, and it became very personal. So we keep it very personal. So when it comes to your own children, if your children are in trouble, you're always inspired. You take it forward. And also the other thing is, I believe it's very important to keep our heart tender before God. That is not only in terms of your work. In your life, one of the most important thing is keep your heart tender before God. If the cross does not, make my eyes teary. If I think about the cross and God's love, if it does not move me, then I'm in a dangerous place. If I see people struggling, if I see people suffer, and if it does not move me or affect me, then I'm in a very dangerous place. So one of the phrases that we use in Vision Rescue is, if you are not affected, you can't be effective. So, yeah, to answer your question, I really believe that if at all we come to a place where things don't move us or affect us, we stop, go back, think, pray, talk, get back to that place where we are affected again.
Wow, okay, that's actually great. And is this something that you have actually gone through? Like, you haven't like, because the way I feel like you talk about, like, so what like how do you actually communicate to your organization? Like, like you are like, maybe you started 2 people, right now you have 20 people. So isn't it hard for for any leader to tell their organization to take a step back and reanalyze it? And how would you, I mean, how would you do it? How would Biju Thampy do it?
Absolutely. We have now at the moment our staff strength is 130, and then we have 90 people interning with us, and then we have a whole bunch of volunteers. So especially living in a city like Mumbai or anywhere in India, this is a possibility that can happen every day because you see things around you, and the natural tendency is for you to build a wall around you, for you not to get affected, because if you do get affected every day, it will mess with your life, it will mess with your schedule, mess with your wallet, it will mess with everything. So natural tendency is to build a wall, but if we build that wall, we can't be effective, we can't make a difference. We will then become very program centric. Even as a not-for-profit organization, instead of being people-centered, we will become program-centered. We'll become project-centered. So then we have lost our edge. So it's a self evaluation thing. Nobody can tell. You can't tell if I'm institutionalized or if I'm inspired. I can fake it very easily. I can act like I'm inspired. I can act like I'm moved, but I will know deep inside of me. So it's a very honest conversation that we keep alive all the time. And I tell our people, if we come to that place where it's not moving us anymore, then we should not be doing this. So for me, it's between me and God. So that's, and I believe, as a leader, you impart more than what you tell people. So you are the culture. So if I am not living that, no matter how many times I tell my people, it won't get to their heart. But if I am living it, if I am in that place, if I'm very honest and vulnerable with my people, when we have those conversations, it will go from my heart to my people's hearts. Yeah.
Wow, that was solid, and I think that's amazing. And I think, like, that's something that, to keep up the inspiration is something that, as leaders, entrepreneurs, or visionaries, that each and every one of us must be doing. And over to my next question. So, I mean, you said you lead an organization with 130 people, with different countries. So, what are some of the ways that you actually encourage creative thinking within your organization?
Yeah. Again, when it's personal, you become creative. You don't make excuses. I'll come back to that very thing. So if your child is in trouble, you will get creative. Excuses will not, will not stop you. Obstacles will not stop you. Problems will not stop you. If you come up with solutions, right?
True.
If one thing doesn't work, you don't go back, you don't quit. Okay, you will try until it happens. You will talk to people, you'll get advice, you'll do whatever it takes to get creative. So I really believe creativity comes when you face obstacles, but there is no turning back. You have to make it happen. That's when creativity comes. So for us, that's been our story. So for example, when we saw the kids on the streets, we started buying some snacks, and we started with 6 kids. So then, we understood that we had to teach them. If we don't educate them, there's no future. So we started with the sidewalk, footpath on the road. So when the monsoons came, we couldn't gather them on the footpath. Other obstacles came. We needed a place. So we talked to people, we talked to politicians, we talked to other people, and different people promised us different things. It was not happening. So we could have easily gone back and say, okay, I tried, it's not happening. But when it's your own children, you don't go back. You quitting is not an option. So we thought about, why don't we get a bus and turn the bus into a classroom and teach the kids inside the bus, so that I had never seen that happen before. So it came as an idea to me. Then, okay, now where do we get the bus from? So I began to go and talk to people who owned schools and plead with them, can you please give me a school bus? We want to teach children on the streets, so when quitting is not an option, you get creative, you beg, you plead, you do whatever it takes to make it happen.
Yeah, wow, I think that's amazing. And since I said, about obstacles, and actually my next question was actually directed towards obstacles, and it's about the challenges. I say, like you said, you have actually faced those challenges, and that's when you have emerged creative, like the bus scenario, where you actually started a bus in a classroom in a bus, and that's something that's very unheard of, and that's like at desperate times you actually have you go for a desperate need, and you go for a desperate solution. And so in terms of challenges and obstacles, what are some of the biggest challenges that you're facing in life as a leader? And what are some of the takeaways that you have had from those challenges?
You know what, Matthew? I mean, I face a lot of challenges, but I'm going to be very honest. The biggest challenge is comfort.
Wow.
Okay. You have to fight that place of complacency with tooth and nail, with all that you have, because that is your biggest obstacle. Problems are not your biggest obstacles. Problems and obstacles, when you face, you have that ability to fight. You have that drive to fight. When you know that you can't quit, you will fight, you will get creative, you will find a way, you will overcome it. But the moment you get comfortable and complacent, you lost your edge. I believe that is the biggest challenge that any leader can face, especially in terms of my field of work.
And how do you think, what are the takeaways that you feel like that leaders should be taking to avoid complacency? Like even after growth, I've seen this in different organizations that I've worked with. After a particular time, once you reach a saturation point, when you are actually you actually have achieved what you thought initially, what you wanted to do, and then you come to a place of comfort where that you feel like, okay, this is where the growth stops, or this is where the saturation is. And in cases of like that, when organizations, when they're leading as leaders or entrepreneurs, what would you tell them, like, to go from that saturation point to further potential and growth?
One of the most important thing is, like I was saying earlier, keep your heart tender before God. Be led by the Holy Spirit. If you position yourself in a place where you hear the voice of God very regularly, and the key to that is stay dependent on the Holy Spirit. One of the most powerful scriptures from the Bible that I have read is John chapter 15 verse 5. It says, apart from me you can do nothing. Jesus says, apart from me you can do nothing. So if we live every moment in that realization, we keep asking God, what next, Lord? What do you have to tell me? What should I do? And being positioned in a place where you hear the voice of God in a very regular way is one of the most important things. And the second thing is, surround yourself with people who will challenge you, who will shake you up. They will know when you get comfortable. If you really are honest with your mentors, they will really know that you're slowing down. And surround yourself with people who are much ahead of you, think bigger than you, think differently to you, who are not afraid to challenge you. So that, for me, I'm so blessed to have people around me, who will ask me the most difficult and awkward questions. They'll put me in a tight spot. So it's very uncomfortable, but I choose to be in that place. Otherwise, it'll affect my growth.
Wow. And I think like my last question was actually directed towards role models and mentors, but and since you've addressed partially about that, I think I'll go ahead and ask it out. How important is it to have a role model in today's generation?
Absolutely important. Absolutely important. Because, I mean, I just lost my dad 2 weeks ago. And to me, he is one of the biggest role models for me. Since I lost him 2 weeks ago, I've been reflecting a lot more on his life. And you're right, we really need role models, and we need role models who are honest, who are open, who will challenge you. I mean, my dad was one of those people. He will ask me tough questions. He will put me in my place. He'll make sure that I stay grounded. So I really miss him. I will talk to him every day, and I will miss him. But things that he has already spoken to me, questions that he has already asked me.
I see how you look up to your father, how you see people, how you look up to role models. And I think that's like much more important in this generation when people don't even know where they're going and where they don't even understand what purpose that God has set for us, that for them in their life. And then, they're wasting their potential that God has actually placed them, the investment that God has given to them. And, and I feel like role models is actually necessary to lead the people in the right way. And yeah, I think that was some much amazing insight that you've given to
People
us.
do not.
Oh, sorry, go on. Sorry.
So I see a lot of people who don't like people who challenge them. Who distance themselves from people who will ask them questions or who would differ with them. Actually, they are your best people. Even in leadership, I need to surround myself with people who will see my blind spots. My team, if I only have a group of people who say yes to me, it's not only your role models that you look up to, it's even your team. I believe you need to have people who will ask you questions, who will differ with you, who will challenge you. So I'm blessed to, have a group of people around me who will not just buy into everything that I'm saying just like that. Who will. I mean, of course, they honor me, they honor my leadership, but they have the freedom to ask me questions. They have the freedom to challenge me, and we have very healthy, heated discussions and debates a lot of times, which really helps me as a leader also to gain perspective. A lot of times it's not only people who are up there who helps me gain perspective. People who I mentor, people who I lead, my children, they challenge me, they ask me questions which causes me to think. So if I'm not defensive, if I'm open to new paradigms, that there is growth opportunity for me every day. And I believe it's very important for all of us.
True. 100%. I think that's something that we should definitely, the uncomfortable questions that we don't want to answer. That's always and we all come across that. And I think like when you find answers to that, when you start looking and start thinking to answers to that, I think that's how you enable yourself to be a better leader and also build the people around you. And yeah, I think we've come to the end of our session. We got some great insights from Pastor Biju about how to lead and how to have a vision, how to sustain the vision, most importantly. And yeah, and I think that's amazing. And before we wrap up, one quick question: what would you say would be the golden words from Biju Thampy to the people who are listening right now?
Stay humble. Stay dependent on God. Stay open. Keep learning, and dream big. And don't stop getting affected by what you see around you. Always keep a tender heart. Be moved.
Wow, I think that was solid and that was amazing. Once again, thank you for your time. Thank you for the time that you take it to like, give us some insights and stuff. And we really love the session. We're really looking forward to what God is about to do to Vision Rescue and through the different cities that God is using you guys to plant the seeds of revival in. So yeah, and once again, thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for everybody for listening. That was Pastor Biju Thampy, and stay tuned for the next episode. And once again, thank you so much.